Great Debaters Contest is brought to you by Safaricom M-Pesa. The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.
Welcome to the home of intellectual debate, the Great Debaters Contest. We are in Machakos County, bringing you the very best that this region has to offer. I am Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Yumbok. We have today Matungulu boys versus Misyani girls. Their motion is very controversial because they'll be debating whether polygamy should be embraced in the African society. Who'll be the victor, Mariam?
There's no way to tell until the debate begins. Proposal number 1, you have 3 minutes.
Many will ask, why will the man engage in polygamy? Here I am, Esther Macau from Misyani Girls, to prove to you that really polygamy should be embraced in the African society. Polygamy is the state of a man having married more than one wife. The state of a man having more. The state of a man engaging in more. Polygamy is able to prove that a man can be able to satisfy the needs of a family. Polygamy provides cheap labor, and polygamy also provides security. In my family, for example, from the main house, I might be having 10 brothers on this side, 10 brothers on this other side. Who will dare, with his right mind, come to my family to threaten me, to pose as a threat to any of us, for he will get what is coming for him. Polygamy provides a source of cheap labor. When a family has a various countable number of children. My father, for example, he might be owning great tracts of land. He doesn't have to pay people to work on his land. I am here. My siblings are present. My brothers and sisters, they are there to provide cheap labor for the family. Polygamy also ensures that every woman gets a chance to get married. If you look at the population pyramid of Africa, you find that the population of women is higher than the population of men. If a man engages in monogamy, then it portrays that not every woman will get the chance to get married. But according to the population pyramid, it shows that a man should engage in he should have more than one wife. This will enable the women who don't have the chance to get married to get a husband. Polygamy is also a source of power. When a man is a father of various children, and according to education, children are going higher. A man has various children. My child, my son, my big brother, he happens to be studying in the States. My other brother happens to be a lawyer. My father is bragging around in the village. Oh, what a family. Whenever he's with his friends, he's saying, my second wife gave me a son because my son is studying in the States. Whenever each of my brothers or my sisters, they come home. One brings this for my father. The other one brings this for my mother. My second mother receives this. My third mother receives this. You get that this is a source of power. You feel kingly. You're well provided. You feel very joyous. I would also like to say, polygamy ensures that with the people who are raised from a polygamous family, they happen to have the virtue of sharing. I get to share with my siblings everything that I possess. Not everything is mine. As they say, charity begins at home. I get accepted everywhere I go because I know how to share. I know how to live with various people. Thank you.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes to make your opening statements.
Good afternoon to all. As they say, nature doesn't take selfies. From Matungulu boys, I'm Randall Maliti, and I'll be opposing the motion that polygamy should be embraced in African society. Indeed, if it was I couldn't support the motion, so I'm going to oppose it. First of all, I'm going to support monogamy. And what is monogamy? This is the practice of one man getting married to one woman. And whereby, as I did my research, I found that monogamy was first established in ancient Greece and Rome before the advent of Christianity. Greece Roman laws prohibiting any man I repeat, prohibiting any man from having more than one wife. And this takes me to my first point. Why should we embrace monogamy in the African society? First, it reduces major social problems of polygamous society, such as violence, poverty, and social gender inequality. For example, 40 million Nigerians are polygamous, and this has led to the high rate of crime in the country. How should we minimize this crime? By practicing monogamy. When we practice monogamy in Nigeria, it's going to reduce the high crime of committing crimes in Nigeria. Also, domestic violence is high in polygamy than monogamy society, according to Christopher Kadzo, who is a professor of philosophy in Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles, California. I go to my second point, which says it enables long-term planning, economic productivity, saving, and investments of the children. This leads to the insignificant improvement rates of children neglect. For example, street children and street families. If you look at this point very directly, if we could be practicing polygamy, do you expect our children to go to schools with the number of children that we have in such a family? Why wouldn't they go to school? Because of poverty. For example, if I got married to 50 wives and I have 150 children, do you expect me to support them in their education? No, I won't support them. And if I do support them, I'm going to get bankrupt. Please, just join me. Take this time. Please. Just tell this other side of the proposers, we should not practice polygamy because it's going to destroy us as men, not women. You need to get that, you guys. So please, make hay as the sun shines. Thank you.
We'll hear rebuttals now, beginning with the proposition. You have 3 minutes.
Well, if all African traditions will affect us negatively, why would we fail to embrace this one, which is polygamy? They say all is gold. Why don't we embrace this one, polygamy, for once and give it a try? I'll first answer my fellow friend. First of all, you've said something to do with Christianity. We have just been told that we should not be gender sensitive. What about the Muslims who are allowed to marry 4 wives? I'll leave that as a question. And secondly, I'll answer another question. In death, in case of monogamy, we have 1 parent, 1 man, 1 wife. In case all parents die as a result of an accident, what could the kids be left of? And there is also free primary education provided by the government. Belinda Mutiso from Misyani Girls. On to my first point. Polygamy. In polygamous families, children are answerable to more parents who teach them the socially acceptable behavior and are therefore inculcated with the right ethical practices and are punished instantly after misbehaving. Yeah, in Nigeria, the crime rates are high due to their parents, like their mothers, don't give them the right moral education as they grow. I'm giving an example. I'm a child born of a family of 5 wives and let's say 18 children. I have my biological mother. Maybe she doesn't know how to bring up a child according to the right moral principles. I have my second, my third, my fourth, and my 5th mother to answer to if I do something wrong. Because if your mother won't teach you, you'll have the world to answer to. So I have other 4 mothers to answer to, and that will reduce the crime rate. Because if there is only 1 mother who doesn't know how to bring up a child, I'll have 4 other mothers who I can be answerable to. And polygamy also strengthens political alliances, leading to more support of the politician. Like when a politician, a strong politician, marries from every major clan in a country, you'll find that that country, everyone is giving support to them, and they'll always be loyal to them. And it will also improve unity, whereby the countries will be able to to trade well, and that will be a boost to the business sector, where a large population will lead to an increase in the demand of the products and also an increase to the human labor available. And there will be more profits, and also more products will be produced, because there will be different people with different ideas to come up with different things, so that our business sectors can be improved and our business sector can be boosted. Thank you.
Opposition will hear your rebuttal. You have 3 minutes.
My name is Amal Kamati from Matungulu Boys, and I'll start with the points. First, monogamy promotes gender equality in the family, because in the both genders, they both influence the decisions that are made in the household. In this case, a monogamous family are able to make right decisions with their husbands without interruptions from the third, fourth party, which we take them as wives, leading to a fruitful family. Unlike the polygamous family, where we have many wives who are going to interrupt in the decision-making, causing the decision-making process to be slow, and they'll make very wrong decisions, which will lead to the decline of the family. And gender equality in the African society has promoted women to higher positions in our society. For example, Professor Olive Mogenda, who is the Vice Chancellor of Kenyatta University, and Fatou Bensouda of Gambia, who is the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, the ICC, which is based in The Hague, and the president of Liberia, who is Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who is still a female. Secondly, in monogamous families, there is less spread of STDs, and HIV/AIDS. In polygamous marriages, it enhances the spread of the STDs and HIV. A good example of a person practicing polygamy is King Mswati, who has currently married 13 wives. Seriously, for God's sake. How can you satisfy 13 women? It's so wrong. And in this case, it leads to unfaithfulness, and it leads to the STDs. According to the UN, polygamy is the main cause of HIV/AIDS in Swaziland, and nearly 40% of the adults are infected with the STDs. And in Ghana, the HIV/AIDS spread is as seen twice in females than males, especially in the rural areas, due to the high rate of polygamy which is practiced there. And according to the UN Committee on Elimination of Discrimination of Women, which is recommended in the 1992, it was noted that polygamy was the main cause of gender inequality.
The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register. The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.
The opposition have been asked if they do not feel like a household with perhaps more people, more than one wife, would be better at decision making than a single wife household. And the proposition have been asked if they're not encouraging child labor when they say that households with more children can provide labor to their families. We'll have them respond. Third proposer, you have 3 minutes.
I'm Masingala from Misyani Girls. I'll first like to start by answering a question. They said that in a polygamous family, you'll find that both genders are not considered. I'd like to say that in a polygamous family, both genders are considered. Let's take, for example, in Switzerland and Baganda, the first wife of the family was acting as the consultant to the king. In that way, the female gender was also considered, and it was used in making decisions. The question that was asked by by the audience that if the children are provide cheap labor, he said that will be charity labor. Child labor. That will be child labor. My fellow opposer didn't categorize specifically on the age. Child labor is only to children in Kenya specifically under 18. She meant that children that have grown, children over 18, children over 18, children who have grown, children that can provide labor. Like for example, in families, you hear, for example, the people embrace what is called the family businesses. People usually have family businesses. And from those businesses, you find that their parents they don't need to employ other people to work in their family businesses. They only need to train their own children and they work there. That way, they are paid cheaply and they save. So I think that children can provide cheap labor. I would like to propose this motion by saying that in case of emergency, there's sure source of support, because when a family has many children and many wives, you'll find that even if a need arises, you only need to call your children and your wives. That way will help eradicate the problem of fundraising or what is commonly known as harambes. Children or people from a polygamous family can socially accept everybody in the society, because you find that in a family, you'll get to meet people of different characters and you'll learn to live with them. That way, when you're exposed to the outside world, you'll be able and you'll learn how to deal with people of different types. You'll not complain, and that way you'll also be accepted in the society. Polygamy is a sure solution to barrenness in women. This can be seen when a woman is barren, the man can marry another wife, and that way the man will get children, and the children will be titled by the surname of the family. Nobody will want to consider the fact that that child belongs to the first wife or the second wife. Thank you.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes to respond.
I take this opportunity to answer a question. He has asked that it will be difficult to make decisions in monogamous marriage than polygamous marriage. Let me answer her question. It's quite clear. In polygamous marriage, it's a situation where we have many wives married to one man. Okay. The many wives will contradict in making decisions. Obvious, it will be easy for one woman to make decision in a family with her husband. Take the example of the family of John Kirima in Nairobi and Maina Nchenga and the others. They are now contradicting. Their children are contradicting over the family inheritance after the husband died. So, we must oppose polygamy marriage because it will deal to conflicts. Even in many families, you may find cases of suicide, children committing suicide, and even the wives because of cases of inheritance. So that is a straightforward question. I urge you, all of you, to support the greener side of life, to oppose polygamous marriage. Okay, you have talked about labor, my fellow proposers. Today, manual labor is not very much required. In many families, you will find that people are using technology, modern technology, combine harvesters in agriculture. Those who take agriculture can bear me witness that today, manual labor is not much required. If you go to Mwea irrigation scheme, you will find that combined harvesters and planters are mostly used there. So many children will not provide any labor in any family. You will find that in polygamous marriage, when children are making decisions about some issues concerning the family, you will find that they go into an extent of fighting. Others even may injure each other because of making of decisions. That's why I urge you, please, let's support monogamy in African society so that we can have a better life. Thank you. Thomas Mutua, Matungulu Boys High School.
Okay, we'll hear closing statements now. Proposition, you have a minute.
As I have stated to you, polygamy should be embraced in the African culture. In the African culture, as our forefathers tried before, it worked for them. Why shouldn't it work for us? Their lives were simpler. Their lives were easier. Polygamy brought various advantages. That's why I would like to say that things come and go, but it's hard to let go of the positive. In polygamous marriage, they learn the art of sharing. They will sit down and listen to in case of inheritance. Nowadays, when a man dies, he leaves his will stating what his kids should take. In families which are not very rich, where will the money to buy harvesters come from? And in these harvesters, do these harvesters decide for themselves, I'll wake up today, go and harvest the crops? Thank you.
Opposition, you have a minute as well for your closing statement.
Okay, again in my conclusion, I want to urge all of you to join this greener side of life to strongly and firmly oppose polygamous marriage in African society. This is because, one, you know very well, it is not very possible for a man to exercise love to more than one wife. One wife may be favored more than the other, leading to domestic violence. On the other hand, monogamy gives room for faithfulness among the two spouses in a family. In addition to this, due to siring of many children, population increases in Africa, and thus increasing the level of unemployment. Take, for instance, in our capital city, Nairobi. You know very well that if the level of unemployment goes up in a country, cases of criminology will also increase. For instance, take, for example, in South Africa and Nigeria, you can see the criminology is very high. So let's kick out polygamy from betterment of African society. Thomas Mutua, Matungulu Boys.
I think when I listened to Misyani girls, at some point I thought, okay, maybe this thing can work. I liked the cross-examination. I think, there was an answer to a question a comment that had been made by the opposers that, religion does not allow. But I think, in response, you pointed us to a religion that actually allows, those to marry more than one wife. I think for me, what was missing was the data, the facts to support your arguments. But having listened to you, a very hilarious team, but also very interesting in terms of for polygamy.
Rando, that's to Matungulu. It was a good start, fair start for your team. But I want you to check on your language. Don't use words, I'll call them street words like cause, Just use the right words because, all right? Amos, yeah, you brought in the aspect of gender equality, and I was listening. However, you are a cross-examiner. You don't come straight to your points. It tells us you didn't listen to the other people. We needed you to refute some of the submissions they gave. Then I think you read too much. It was a paper that you turned, page 2. Then you kept reading, and then after the notes were over, you disappeared on stage. All right? So you need to check on that. As a debater, you want to engage us, you want to persuade us, talk to us, because we're listening. Thomas, fair cross-examination. As a team, don't carry books to the stage, all right? And of course, tell us more, engage us more by, the economic status that we have. Why even some nations would sometimes enforce laws where they're telling people to only get even one child, which is not possible sometimes in polygamous marriages, because most of them have large families. So you should have gone deeper and explained to us with even facts and figures.
Straight to the results. Matungulu Boys, you were awarded 60%. Please give them a round of applause. Misyani girls, you have 65%. Please give them a round of applause. They are our winners.
Bravo to both schools for that debate, and thank you for taking the time to watch us. Follow us on social media at Great Debaters EA on Twitter. I have been your host, Mariam Bashar.
And I am Austin Nyumbok. Catch you next time.
The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register. The Great Debaters Contest was brought to you by Safaricom M-Pesa.